It's a good question. I mean, to be honest, I'm not terribly worried about a slightly weaker than expected monthly number. I do think we get a bit too carried away with monthly numbers. And the other point I always make to people is that although we always talk about 50, above 50 being expansion and below 50 contraction, of course that's not the case with China. 50 correlates with more like 5.5% growth. So, I think we're talking semantics. I think that you've had a really big uptick since the low point in December. And I think the recovery is still happening. It's just happening gradually.
What is your sense on the recovery in China? I know that Macquarie releases its own survey, the China Business Cycle Indicator, and for the month of April, it showed the strongest reading there since 2017. How confident are you that perhaps the end of 2018 and the very start of 2019 was the low point when it came to the conditions, the growth conditions in China?
Look, I think it's actually really clear that the low point was December. Our indicator, I mean, we have some surveys we've been running in the steel sector and the copper sector in Shanghai since 2011. And we use some fancy econometrics to back out a business cycle indicator. And it's actually given us a really good read on what's happening in underlying demand in the economy. And as you say, it actually bounced further in April. So I tend to look at the PMIs as noise rather than a clear signal. And it's very clear that the level of all of these indicators have moved up substantially since the low points in December. So whilst it's going to take some time to get traction, and particularly on the production side, as you highlighted in the previous conversation, you do need exports to pick up from here, which of course means you need domestic demand in other countries to pick up. But ultimately it does look like China have put a big stimulus in place. Fiscal policy has turned quite aggressively stimulatory, and of course credit is growing faster now, and I think that will underpin continued growth over the next couple of quarters.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.